Silence can be a powerful thing, and in horror films, silence is a great way of building tension. But what if you wanted to build silent tension without scaring the audience? And how would you do it without resorting to bad jump scares?
We are now inside the house where the celebrity ghosts have been spotted. Whoa, what was that? What was that?
What was what?
Did you hear that? It was like a...
That's why I want to talk about an episode from Only Murders in the Building, because although I love the show's witty dialogue, my favorite episode is one that actually does the opposite, staying silent. Yet as it does so, it's incredibly tense. So why does this work? And how do you build tension in a story that doesn't say a single word? First, making everything silent forces us to pay more attention than usual. Without sound, we need to listen with our eyes, and in turn, we focus a lot more on what happens visually. So to build tension, the story must show more and tell less. And this is the first rule to establish. We need to see the drama unfold, watch characters take risks, and notice dangers hiding in the background. This is why it's so effective for a story designed to make us feel anxious, where characters are being put in danger, because having no sound puts us on edge and increases our nervous anticipation. We're looking a lot more as we wait for something to happen. It's also an effective tool of filmmaking because it's so quick and noticeable. Just by removing or lowering down the sound, our attention immediately perks up to notice something important on the screen. And it's a great way of highlighting a key moment in the story. It shifts our eyes towards the visual landscape so that we too become absorbed by what we see, like a moment of terrified shock, or a feeling of disappointment and anger. So what do you do without sound? You focus on the opposite, the visuals. In film, you can do this in a variety of ways, and because you always want to show more and tell less, one simple way you can do this is through POV shots. Although these shots show us what a person sees, they also show us a lot about the person we get the point of view from. We can infer things like that they are hiding, or that they are doing something they shouldn't. Importantly, these shots can bring tension because they can mirror what the character is feeling. If that character is feeling tense, then we too feel a certain tension, and that's echoed visually through just the type of shot. Another way to build tension is through the blocking of the actors. Characters taking great efforts not to make sound make things feel tense because we can tell they don't want to be found. But as they move in relation to other characters, directors can further raise the stakes by creating a cat and mouse-like game where a tense dance is being played. And it's this careful choreography and framing that keeps us engaged while also feeling tense. Since everything must be visual, then how you progress the story must also be visual. New information can only be uncovered through the veil of silence, and if it can't be seen, then it cannot be revealed to the audience. Finally, instead of having different ways to show tension, you can also show different types of tension, and this can be done simply through the choice of setting. You can portray the awkward tension of being at a funeral, or the sexual tension of a date.
Stairway to the stars, it would be heaven.
By matching the setting of the story to the reason why there's silence, you can cleverly find new and interesting ways to not just build tension, but also continue the story in a way that keeps the audience engaged from one scene to the next. This is important because you want to make the scene transitions feel fluid and unforced. You want each setting to make sense as to why it's silent, so that even though the lack of sound can feel strange, it also doesn't feel wrong. We're so used to hearing sound that I feel like most modern filmmakers think that's the only way to tell a story, but it doesn't have to be. The very first films were all silent, but they managed to be just as interesting as any other film we'd watch today because they all focused on playing with the visual landscape. They all focused on showing instead of telling. It's why the best films can be understood even by those that don't know the film's language. So if you're a filmmaker, ask yourself this. Will the audience get what's going on even if the film was on mute? And how can I show more and tell less?
It would be heaven to climb.